Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Purpose-Filled Kitchen. Today I'm making a Biscoff cheesecake because this is something that I constantly get requested to make, especially because I do this a lot for the holidays, just make a little extra money and to give somebody some joy. And so today we're going to be making that. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do 2 cups of Biscoff cookies. And we're going to take those cookies and we're going to just put them through the food processor. I don't know if you can see my food processor here, but I actually have some graham crackers in here because I'm going to make a classic cheesecake in there. So in here, all you're going to do is a little bit of graham crackers, a pinch of salt, and of course, about a half a cup of melted butter. And so I'm just going to mix this in, and it's going to be nice and crumbly. I don't know if you can see that. See that? It looks like sand. Make sure that everything gets mixed really well and that all of the cookies are covered in the butter, okay? And once you get that in there, you're gonna press that into a 9-inch springform pan. Now, I like 9-inch. I think it's big enough for the family, so that's what I make. You can make, of course, double it if you're gonna do 2. You can do 1. I'm gonna make quite a few of these, but I wanted to make this today for the recipe. I wanted you guys to see it being done. I just had some extra parchment paper from other things that I have done, so I'm just like, I just tore it up and put it in the bottom just so that it doesn't stick. So once this is mixed, I'm going to press this in. Okay, so you're gonna use about 2 cups, right? And then you're gonna just take your spatula or something flat, like a measuring cup or a regular cup, and all you're gonna do is press this down nice and firm in the bottom of the pan. Now, sometimes what I like to do is I like to create like a little bit of a well around the sides, right? So I like the sides to come up a little bit so that it's not so thick on the bottom. And also, I just think it looks pretty when you unmold it if you see a little bit of the Biscoff cookie coming out of the side. So I absolutely love that. Now, some people go ahead and they put parchment paper around the side of the pan. I haven't found a need to do that. And I think it's just because I do spray it and I butter it. And there's a lot of butter already in the actual mixture, right? All right, so I come in now with my cup or whatever you have that's flat on the bottom, okay? And all I'm gonna do is press up on the sides, just like this. I don't want it to look like it's store-bought, right? Who are always like perfect on the rims and on the edges. So that's all in there beautifully, and it has a nice little rim. I'm gonna bake this now for about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, right, in the oven. I don't want it to get way too dark, but I do want it to bake off a little bit, okay? So we're gonna put that into a 225-degree oven, and it's just gonna like swim in there for just about 15 minutes, okay? All right, while that is baking, we're gonna go ahead and start making our base, right, our actual filling. So first thing I wanna do is I wanna take 4 packages of room temperature cream cheese. I like Philadelphia. Kirkland is really good too. So you can use Kirkland, Philadelphia. I actually like those 2. I haven't tried with others, but these 2 seem to work really, really well and very compatible. All right, so in here we are going to blend this up. I want to make sure this gets super, super soft, mixed together, and then we're going to go ahead and put in our sugar, okay? So I like to do it in steps. I know some people just throw everything in, but I really like to mix the cream cheese first. Once you have creamed your 4 packages, 8 ounce each, by the way, of cream cheese, you're gonna make sure you scrape the bottom just a little bit, and then we're gonna add our sugar, okay? So this is about 1.25 cups of sugar goes in with the cream cheese, and then you're gonna blend this together. Okay, do you see how it's kind of pulling together in there? Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and scrape this down, and I am now going to add the sour cream. Now you can also use Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt may make it a little bit more firm, but it works. I've done it and it definitely works. Now, one thing I will say though, if you're gonna use the Greek yogurt, just know that the consistency is going to be just a little bit different. Okay, so don't get upset or anything like that. If you see that it's a little bit more firm, it's not going to be like terribly different. It really isn't. It works really, really well. So now that we have the sugar and the cream cheese, we're going to now add our sour cream. Okay, and I'm doing 2/3 of a cup of sour cream. All right. All right. We're going to blend that up. Mix that up really well. I can smell like the tanginess of like the sour cream and the cream cheese. That's what gives you that really amazing cheesecake flavor, right? Is that tang. I love it so much. What I'm gonna do now is I'm incorporating the Biscoff, right? This is a Biscoff cream. I use this in the base and I use this right on the top as a drizzle, right? So I have about 3/4 of a cup of it right here. And I'm gonna mix this together really well. It's gonna get like a very nice light tan color. And here's the brand in case you don't know it. It's delicious. This stuff is so good, right? It tastes a little too good is the issue. All right, we're gonna mix this together. All right, and as this combines and becomes like a light tan color, I got vanilla paste here, so I'm gonna add some vanilla because vanilla just makes everything taste better. Once our Biscoff is in, we're gonna mix that together. Make sure that it's combined. And while it's running, you're gonna drop in 4 eggs, so 1 at a time. Okay. Make sure they get combined really well before you mix the next one, okay? That looks good. There we go. Last one. All right, I'm just gonna scrape it down because it's gotten so much on the sides. I'm gonna scrape this down and run it one more time. The only reason I'm taking this out is because this bowl is really big, and so it's hard to get in there to scrape. So we're gonna scrape it, get all of that cream cheese from the bottom. This is like my highest requested cheesecake. Now that we got this scraped down, we're gonna go ahead and bring this up, mix it really quick, and we are good to go. All right, we're gonna let the crust come out of the oven. It's going to cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna fill up our cheesecakes, okay? So I'm back. Hold up, y'all. I forgot to add the flour. You need at least 2 tablespoons of flour. The reason you put flour in cheesecake is because it'll absorb that extra moisture, and it will help you with that cracking in the center that happens to cheesecake sometimes. So the flour, I wouldn't skip it. And I almost did because I forgot about it. So I got my crust out, by the way. Isn't that pretty? I got my crust out, and so now it's cooled down pretty good. So now I'm just gonna add the flour. It should have been added before. And it's not much, it's like 2 tablespoons. Now that the flour is incorporated and our crust smells amazing. I wish you guys can be in the kitchen right now. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Just gonna scrape all the goodness off of this thing here. The reason I put the cheesecake inside of another pan is because I'm gonna put this whole thing on my sheet pan and then put the water in. It just prevents from water leaking into your spring form, because sometimes these spring forms can be a little loose and it will cause water to go into your filling. At least it's done that for me, and since I learned that lesson, never again, right? So into the pan now we're going to put this beautiful Biscoff mixture. Now the reason that I put the Biscoff mixture into the cheesecake and I don't swirl it in. Now I have swirled it in and it's delicious. I just think it's over the top sweet, especially because I'm covering the entire surface of the cheesecake in quite a bit of Biscoff, and I crumble cookies on top as well. So it just felt like an overkill to have it in the mixture on the top, crumbled up. I mean, some of you might be thinking, overkill with Biscoff? What is wrong with you? But yeah, I think sometimes some things can be an overkill, and this is one of those, right? I filled it almost to the top, okay? Almost to the tippity. I love it, okay? Because cheesecake rises, but it doesn't rise a lot, right? Like the only thing that would rise in here or help it rise would be the eggs. There's no like yeast or baking soda or baking powder. There's none of that in here, right? So it usually rises by the steam, which we are providing and helping the steam with our hot water, right? I'm gonna place this pot now onto the sheet pan, and what I'm gonna do is bring this over to the stove or to the oven, and then I'm going to fill it up with hot water, okay? So I usually go almost to the top of the rim of the sheet pan, and I put it in this pot so that it doesn't get wet, right? So if you have a pot that can fit your pan, I would highly recommend this. If you don't, that's okay. So into the oven this goes for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Then I turn off the oven and I let it ride in the oven for another hour. Then I take it out and put it in the fridge for 6 hours. So it comes out a little bit caramelized on the top. If you don't like that color or whatever, just cover it with a little foil towards the end so it doesn't get that nice color. I like the color, so I'm good with it. And plus I'm covering it with some Biscoff that I put in the microwave for about 20 seconds. That's all it takes really, okay? I do it in a glass jar because I don't know, I feel sometimes kind of funny about nuking things in plastic, right? All right, so here's our cheesecake. If you can see it well, it came out from the sides, okay? See that? It came out from the sides pretty good, so it baked in. I let it cool completely on the counter for about an hour, and then I wrapped it in plastic. I popped it in the fridge overnight, and then I popped it in the freezer for like the last hour or so. And the reason I did that was because I wanted for it to, oh man, it did come out nice. Look at that, didn't even need a knife. Yes. The reason I did that is because I want to flip it onto a board really quick and then flip it again. And the reason I do that is I freeze it so that it doesn't, like, you know, because cheesecake can be very jiggly, right? And so we want to make sure we protect it. And the reason I do this is because I've always found these bottoms to be a little bit of a pain in the, just like that, to come off. Let me see if I can pull this without breaking the crumb. Right, that's the tricky part. There we go, perfect. That is a pain, right? So sometimes what I do when I remember is I invert the pan. I invert this. See how it has a lip? I invert it this way. The only thing is that you do lose a little bit of the baking width, right? So I guess it's, you know, what you want to deal with, right? So, okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of this. Hopefully this will help it stick a little bit. This goes on here. Then I flip it. Just like this. There we go. Okay, this is what I do with all my cheesecakes. What I want to do is cool this down a little bit. I don't want it to melt my cheesecake at all or make it too soft, right? So what we're going to do is we are just literally going to drip this on the top, let it spread out, and then we're going to try to do, I think we have enough, but if not, I have an extra Biscoff container. Then we're going to let it just drip on the sides and we are done. Also, I think what I should do is crumble up some Biscoff cookies and we'll crumble that on top. Yeah, that sounds like a very good idea. I'll be right back. So I grabbed some cookies, right? Always have an extra pack of Biscoff cookies because I'm always baking. So all I'm doing is just rolling this glass over because I can't find my, I can't find my rolling pin. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to drip this on the top. Start in the center and then start going out. All right, so let's see if this works because like I said, cheesecake is a little frozen. So we will see if we can actually get the drizzle look to come down. I love this little spatula, by the way. Now I can go ahead and get a, put this back in the freezer, get a spat and just do this really warm, all of that, right? But I'm not gonna do that because I am gonna just put some cookies on top. So I am okay with the rustic look. Now you can lay Biscoff cookies on top. You can do whatever you want. This is just what I'm doing to make this simple. This is what my client wants, my customer wants. So this is what she's gonna get. Okay, she said she just wants it nice and simple on the top with a little bit of Biscoff cookies. So that's what I'm doing. Now I made other ones, which I had to put buttercream and pipe it like I just did. Actually, I'm going to deliver it right after I'm finished with this one. All right, that's it, y'all. This is your Biscoff cheesecake. It is freaking awesome. It is to die for. You're gonna love it. All right, everyone, enjoy. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Purpose Filled Kitchen. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and like really comment below. Tell me what you want to see next. I will make sure if it's something that is doable, I will definitely do it. So please go ahead and do all of that because it helps me grow in the algorithms and it helps me get out there. So thank you guys for watching. This is Chef Neena Perez, and this is the Purpose Filled Kitchen. Until next time.